Hey everyone, it's Jake at Jake's Metal Chat. Hope you're all well and welcome to a brand new video. Was meant to record one last week, but I was busy with work and then getting ready to go to a festival up in Glasgow, Scotland, which I'm going to talk about very briefly in this collection update. And of course, I'm talking about Dead of Winter Fest. Fantastic, fantastic festival. Uh, as I'm talking about already, I'll give you my quick little review. Um. Was meant to be 2 days, but we had that storm up there. But it didn't dampen our spirits for those who went because I went up there Thursday. So did Ryan because he was playing in, well, he was supposed to be playing in three bands, but one of the bands pulled out. So he ended up only playing in two, one of which is his own. He went up there Thursday. Let me just sort the camera out a minute. There we go. And I got there Thursday evening, checked into my hotel, met up with Dylan and Sean, so Dylan HM2 Power and Sean the Beast. Do check out their channels, and I will put Sean's video down there about Dead of Winterfest, as well as two other videos by two other YouTubers that I met up there for the first time, along with Sean, because I've been following his Instagram and recently subscribed to his channel. Also with Dylan, who, when I said HM2, you can definitely see by the name, loves his HM2. We all went up there for, of course, like I said, Dead of Winterfest. Kendo and Kondo were the organizers, did a cracking job. They both played in Brain Bath, sorry, in Brain Bath, and Kendo was doing vocals, obviously for Brain Bath and Suffering Rights. Definitely a band that I listened to beforehand. Jaundice were the pretty much the youngest band on the bill, being 18, 19 years old, and I was really impressed with their set. Very old school sounding death metal, absolutely incredible to me. As you know, I love my old school death metal as well as my HM2 as well. One of my highlights was Murder Worship, originally from Brazil but all living up in Glasgow now. And of course, the vocalist slash guitarist was in Brain Bath as well. And what I liked about Murder Worship was they had that Domination era Morbid Angel sound to them with some of the riffs. Like, yeah, just I couldn't get enough. And there's so many other bands there, like Rumination, Uncoffin, Graveghoul, Tenebro, which of course I have the CDs here of those three bands, and I will be showing them again. And obviously talking about more in depth in this collection update and who else was on this before I crack on with here. So, yeah, Jaundice, Rumination, Suffering Rights, Murder Worship, Grave Ghoul, Severe Laceration, Brain Bath, Uncoffined, Tenebro, Repute didn't end up playing in the end. I got back to the venue a bit late after going out, getting through, going back to Solid Rock, which I met up with Sean and Dylan on Thursday, and then met up with Ryan, Mark, Liam, Wendy, John, and the rest of the gang there on Friday. And yeah, it would have been good to see them. So, of course, original plan was five bands on the Friday, and I think it was nine or 10 bands on the Saturday. I could be wrong on that. But overall, loved the festival. Could not get enough. Just one hell of a weekend. That definitely, if you are a fan of death metal, it's definitely a weekend where you can just have a blast and just just let everything go, and it definitely does the trick. Now, we're gonna get through these CDs quickly. So, and first, before I get to the CDs, I am going to show you this DVD, which is the Monsters of Death, the Ultimate Death Metal compilation DVD right here, with tons of music videos. So, like music videos, live music videos, and so on and so forth. Got this at Black City Records, along with half of the CDs here, except for the one I just moved out now. Um, Definitely something I'll have on in the background when tidying up my room just and also typing up new episodes for my Metal Vault series. Yeah, as you know, my Death Mountain has got bands such as Obituary, Suffocation, Deicide, Cannibal Corpse, Carcass, Hypocrisy, Dismember, Benediction, Edge of Sanity. We got Napalm Death as well, Bolt Thrower, Unleashed, Amorphis, Gorefest, Entomb. The list goes on. Morgoth as well. Just everything goes on. And yeah, just thought it was like it was screwing at me. It was like, hey, you like death metal? Yep, definitely for me. Monsters of Death, and I will put that over here because I got a ton of CDs to stick right here. So the first one is a band from actually no wait, before I get to this one, these guys are from Glasgow, Scotland, where Dead of Winter Festival is where it's based. And I got told how this name was pronounced, but I'm gonna mess it up anyway. It's a Fruath, Fruath, Fuath, and this is their second album too. Atmospheric black metal. That is my favorite type of black metal. It's because I saw them live at the Griffin with Offness and Sarkov, and all atmospheric black metal bands definitely fit the bill, and these guys fit the bill. And I love, I mean, I love the cover is, just you know, like dark hooded figures with, you know, you know, there's a lot in the back with black robes, and this one with a red robe and a horse with red on them as well. Got the trees, snowy mountains, birds, it's nature. Just I love nature. Released by Season of Mist. Um, I saw them live and they played stuff on this album and their first album, which is called One. But when I got time, I'm literally just gonna sit down, relax, and put on some atmospheric black metal. If that's your thing, check out these guys. Veraf and Two. Again, I think I'm butchering the name, but either way. Next one, band from the Ukraine. Yeah, I need to look at these guys again before I get on to this band here. So these guys here formed 2015, and this album came out in 2021. These guys here formed in 2014 in the Ukraine. I have one of their albums, The Blind Leading the Blind, but this is their 2021 release. This is 1914 with Where Fear and Weapons Meet, which has guest vocals on track 7. A cross now marks his place. Guest vocals from Nick Holmes, which became one of my favorite songs from this album, and you can tell by the cover what their lyrical themes are. It's to do with the First World War, to do with the First World War, trenches. Yeah, just it's dark, heavy music. It's black and death doom. And if that is your thing, you definitely gonna love these guys. And let's get a bit of a drink in. Yeah, just that is if you because there's a lot of bands that are doing lyrical themes based on the First World War, and the other one that I could mention, which I was gonna go see last year, but I didn't end up in the end because I couldn't fit in, or I couldn't make it, and that was Kanonenfieber. So got the same lyrical themes and the tones of these guys right here, and I love, of course, I love my metal, and I also love, learn about the First World War because obviously there's a lot of bands that will sing about war, like the Second World War, but I don't think there's many that have done the First World War yet, and I think these were the first, as far as I know, the first band to do it. But definitely a band if you are into your blackened, be it blackened death metal, blackened doom metal, in this case, blackened death doom. 1914, where fear and weapons meet. Now, these guys formed in 1987 in Florida. This is their debut album, and missed them when they came to London last year, which I'm, absolutely gutted about. This is Atheist and Piece of Time. This is the re-release because it has not only the album, but the two demos, Beyond and Hell Hath No Mercy, and the demo when they were called Ravage, On They Slay. Yeah, Ravage. There we go. Don't know why I said that word earlier. So say that again. Ravage with their On They Slay demo with, of course, the demos they released under the name of Atheist. And of course, the DVD with when they call Ravage, and then onwards from there just as Atheist. Interview under the name they were before. Piece of Time live to radio. Drum recording footage. So that's pretty cool. I haven't watched the DVD yet, but let me just open this up just in case the CDs come off. The DVDs come off from its little pot, and now the CDs come out here. Let me just see if we can sort that out. So there's the album with the demos on it, and the DVD. And I just hit my mic. Sorry about that. Let me just move that. And band picture of them in a frame, which is really cool. Of course, their original bass player Roger, who sadly passed away in 1991. But his legacy lives on, not only on the demos, but on this as well. And he did songwriting for their second album, Unquestionable Presence. And yeah, you want to know where it all started with these guys? This album. It was released in 1990 everywhere else, but I think over in the States back in 89 on, I can't remember the record label, but it was released on tape in 89, but 1990 everywhere else. Very technical, jazzy, infused death metal, basically. It's got a jazz feel, it's quite progressive, and it's very technical. If that is your thing, definitely check these guys out. Atheist, Piece of Time. Band from Birmingham, which I have talked about on numerous occasions. Of course, Birmingham, England, and I think you just saw a little bit of the cover there. It's this Benediction with their debut album, Subconscious Terror, which also has Dark is the Season. Because obviously, look at this album, this was their debut and the only one to feature Barney from Napalm Death on vocals, because this was his first band. Got the back, you got David right there, as well as the other guys. Because obviously, these two are still in the band now. David left sometime in the late 90s, and Dave Hunt from on Nafrak took over for a while. And then David came back in 2019 at Scandinavia Death Fest, and I was there when that happened. But yeah, old school British death metal, just at its absolute finest. Got a dark tone to it. Barney's vocals are more evil on this, as opposed to Napalm Death when you first hear him on Harmony Corruption. Because on here it's more dark sound because obviously there's reverb over his vocals, but on the Napalm stuff, not as much of the reverb. But overall, it gives it that dark tone to his vocals, and the instrumentation. It just adding on to that is just old school death metal. You know what it sounds like, and I found footage of Barney with Benediction in 1990 on YouTube. If I can find it again, it will be in the description below, so you can have a look for yourself. And yeah, I got to see these guys with Dave Hunt at Bloodstock, and then obviously the other times with David Ingram on vocals. So first time was in Sweden, and then again in Bristol when they were on tour for only two shows with Volbeat. As I thought, Benediction in Bristol with Volbeat, going for Benediction. But I did watch Volbeat as well. So, but it was mainly there because I love my death metal more, as you know. But if you haven't heard this album yet, if you heard Benedictions, or if you heard the last album, or any albums after that, I do recommend you go back to the very beginning and hear Bonnie before Napalm Death. And I know there's going to be a lot of you out there that are more into the old school death metal, so this is definitely up your street. Benediction and Subconscious Terror with also Dark, I bet yet, with Dark is the Season, which has a Forged in Fire cover, which is obviously a song by Anvil. Now, this one has got two albums, so one from 1998 and one from 2000. This is a band from New Orleans, formed in 1990 under this name, but been in other bands since like maybe late 70s, early 80s. But been playing sludge metal since 1990 and mixed hardcore well with it. I'm talking about Crowbar, so the albums are Oddfellows Rest from 1998 and Equilibrium from 2000. And these two albums feature Sammy from Goatwhore slash Acid Bath. Yeah, I of course found pretty much every one of those here except for the Ferraf CD at Black City Records because I got Ferraf CD obviously at the gig. Not gonna try and bother with the CDs because I can't open the other bit where the other one is because we've got Mr. Kurt Weinstein there before he grew out his beard to what it is today. Got the cover there. And I believe there is a picture of Sammy somewhere. Where is he? I believe that's him right there. And of course, Todd, Big T to all the guys in the band playing bass. And him playing bass on the debut and the self-titled release that I featured on my Metal Vault. Man, he knows how to play bass. He knows how to just get right in there. Of course, I've heard songs from both of these albums live, one of which is Planets Collide. If you know that song, you know that song and just how well it's done. And just how influential this band is to a lot of other bands, be it sludge or hardcore. You know, a lot of sludge metal bands influenced by them, a lot of hardcore bands influenced by like hardcore punk bands primarily. And because there are some songs where they do mix that in and it blends really well. Yeah, so I got a bit of a runny nose to be honest with you. But some sludge metal right here. For anyone that loves sludge metal and you've not come across Crowbar yet, go and check these guys out. Crowbar with Oddfellows Rest and Equilibrium. Now, this band is from the Netherlands, and I have checked them out before, but not really gone out of my way to check them out again because I've been finding more like other bands as well, and I keep saying I'm going to go back to them, but I never do. But I thought I found this at Black City Records, like all the others, and I'm going to start listening to them a bit more. This is Deadhead with Slave Driver, and these guys formed in where are you? 1989. And this album came out in 2022. I don't know why in my list it said 2020, but it's 2022. And just so I'm not, you know, Doubting myself. Yeah, 2022. And I've heard stuff from this album as well as the debut, which is called The Feast Begins at Dawn. But I think the songs I know the most from, like I have heard, are from Dream Deceiver from 1993. And these guys are currently on Hammer Heart Records. So this was, of course, you can see right there, the little Hammer Hearts record label right there. And what I've heard of stuff from here and what I've heard from these guys in general, just great quality death thrash. And the Dutch know how to play metal. Just listen to Pestilence, Asphyx, Gorefest, just to name a few. So if you haven't come across these guys yet, and or you heard these guys back in the day, but didn't listen to them as much as you would like, then go back to them and rekindle that love for them. Because they would have been a band that got overlooked quite a bit, but would have had an underground following back in the day. But definitely, I will be listening to these guys a lot more. So this is Deadhead and Slave Driver. Some good quality death thrash from the Netherlands. Now, this one here, I am so happy that I got. Because David, who owns Black City Records, I was saying to him, and I even said this in my metal tag, I've been trying to find this album, A Plea to the VCLT Gods, and want to find an original pressing of this, but I do have the Peaceville repress of this album, and it is because I do have Cold Soul Embrace. And I know a lot of you guys out there do too, but if you don't, go check this out. But I've been wanting to find this for a long time. Originally released under the label Century Media Records. And of course, I'm talking about Enchantment and Dance the Marble Naked. David got me this as a present because I went there to go pick up. Obviously, I picked up Deadhead that day, and what else did I pick up? It might have been Crowbar, as far as I remember. Um, but he just said, "I got something for you," and lo and behold, it was this. There is a sticker. I stuck it there, which says, obviously, the album title and hidden gem of UK doom death metal from 1994. And says there combines mid-period Paradise Lost and My Dying Bride to create their own original sound, a great debut album, and that was written by Metal Archives. And of course, we got the Peaceville logo right there, and of course the guys on the back, Mark's in the middle, and there's Paul just to be to the right there, but it might be to the left to you. And this is just a solid album. It is heavy, but it's quite melodic as well. And let's get out the is the CD. I don't know if it looked like that in the original pressing of the CD. I'm not sure, but or this might just be a Peaceville re-release thing. There's the guys there again, and I believe there's good old Mark G received right about where is he? There. I believe that's Mark. Um actually no, let's get the book out because there might be some more stuff in here. And plus I'll show the artwork as well. Of course, it's a re-release, so that's not the original artwork from the album because they changed it up on certain re-releases. And if you want to know about that, I'll link that video down there below as well. Um, just a beautiful sounding album. The lyrics here, and thank yous there, and of course some in loving memory of Alan and Paula down there, as you can see. So rest in peace to them, and my condolences to the rest of the band and their families. And this, oh God, it's just a beautiful, 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 heavy sounding album. Because I heard it just before going up to Glasgow, like maybe like a week before, and I was, and I was just like, gets you quite emotional to be honest. But I think it's supposed to have that you know feel to it anyway. It's supposed to make you just be like, yeah, get emotional and because like I said, it's heavy, but it's also quite melodic as well. And yeah, these guys achieved that very well. Paul's vocals are just the right fit for it. Play, Mark and Steve did so well with the guitars, Chris on the drums, and Mark on the bass. I've got two Marks, of course. You know which one Mark G with a C is because there's the C and there's Mark with a K. But they all did so well to bring this album to life. And of course, it was the only one they released on Peaceville Records, not Peaceville Records, Century Media Records, so they were on that label. They are now on Cosmic Key Creations because Cold Soul in Place was released on Transcending Records. Um, but yeah, like if you want to know the history about this album from Mark himself, it'll be in the description below. But definitely one that I highly recommend for anyone who is a fan of Death Doom. Enchantment and Dance the Marble Naked definitely has that Paradise Lost, My Dying Bride, and early Anathema feel to it. If you love all three of those bands, Peaceville bands, Enchantment is the band for you. Now, say that again. Now, support some HM2 death metal from Sweden. Formed in 1990 originally, but split up in 1998 because nothing was happening with it. Don't know the full story, but hopefully I can get the main guy himself who formed the band back in the day. He reformed it in 2008. It's been a full band since then. I'm talking about Entrails, and this is their 2015 release, Obliteration, on Metal Blade Records. Of course, I said HM2. What more do you need? It's just nasty. HM2. Fucking goodness right here. And there's a little cover there of Dreaming by Heavy Load. So a nice Heavy Load cover right there. Because this will be a re-release. This is the re-release one on this little not the jewel case CD, but yeah, just me. I love my HM2. So does Wendy and Mark and Dylan. I can just get those three together either at Dead of Winter or another gig that we all attend, and we can just talk HM2 for hours, or if it's just a HM2 like all day, like yeah, we're definitely at the right place. But if you're a fan of the HM2, definitely it's this is a band for you because opposite I can mention like Entomb, Dismember, Grave, uh right, who else is there? Disrupted. New album, fucking awesome. Go check it out. Um, as well as bands that are not Swedish but using HM2, one of which Mark mentioned in his Buzzsaws the Law, Hellsworn. Who else? There's the Plague from Australia. Um, uh, there's so many bands I'm trying to remember the names. Are Lick, also from Sweden. Uh, Rotten Sound from Finland. They're more grindcore, but got that HM2. Even bands that ain't death metal using HM2, like Nails, for example, definitely a HM2 band checking out to check out, and Fuming Mouth, who I've mentioned on here. But yeah, you want some HM2 and Swedish death metal. I've mentioned Dismember, Grave, and Entombed, Unleashed as well. But definitely Entrails is on that list of HM2 goodness right there. Glorious HM2, nasty, heavy Swedish death metal. Definitely coming at you right here with Entrails and Obliteration. Oh yeah, I better move those along now because they are coming off, and I gotta move this over here. There we go. So on Entrails and Obliteration. Now, let's get up to the bands here from Dead of Winter, but how I wrote it out on the list is the order of when they played. So I'm going to go with, and I mentioned Ryan, and I mentioned the band already. They formed 2023. This is a compilation from Graveghoul, Living Dead Flesh, horror themed death metal right here, or simply put, horror death metal. This was released on Dismal Fate Records, and a little sticker right there that says horror. This has the two EPs, Living Burial Ground and The House of Dead Flesh. And let me just get there. Otherwise, yeah, The House of Dead Flesh, which was their EP, is the EP released last year, and it was their first time playing live. And the members that they had were David McLennan, I hope I said that name right, is in a band called Gouger, which is a band I do recommend, and Christian Tooney, which was in Vulgar Dissection, playing drums for them, as well as Dawn of Chaos and Boycott the Baptist, and is currently in a Pantera tribute band called Hellbound. So we got those two guys, and they did so well. All three of them did so well to bring Graveghoul live to all of us death metal maniacs. And yet, when I say horror death metal, you can definitely tell, and a lot of you will recognize him if you are a fan of Italian horror films. That's what I was trying to get out. Dr. Freudstein from House by the Cemetery. It's got the songs here, which a lot you will probably pick up that are to do with horror films, like Living Burial Ground. Obviously, Burial Ground, very underrated Italian zombie film. A Puzzle of Body Parts is basically about pieces. Yeah, this goes on for all the films that I guess make them die slowly. That's got to do, I think, with Cannibal Ferox. And of course, there's some covers. So we got Cremated, Incinerated, which is a Mortician cover, Disorganized, in Batago cover, and Twisted Massive Burnt Decay, which is a Autopsy cover. All right, so I'll quickly show the CD here. And there's the man himself. And there's good old writing. Yeah, it's just great to see him and Mark and Wendy, Dylan, John, who's Rockin' Metal Plus. You know, Sean the Beast. Of course, Liam as well. Left doing Metal Hackers Consecration played last year. Yeah, because like I said, I didn't know this was on. And they all went up, and I was like, I got to go. And I'm planning on going next year. But yeah, if you were there and you saw Graveghoul, then you just know how well they did, just how heavy they are. First time they played as well, and they've been a band for ages. It was ridiculous. And both EPs on here and the covers, because I heard this before getting the CD. Yeah, really great covers. So once again, Graveghoul and Living Dead Flesh. The compilation, which it has both Living Burial Ground and the House of Dead Flesh. You love death metal and horror films? Definitely these guys. Graveghoul. Now, Before we get on to the next two bands from the Dead of Winterfest, next one is a death doom metal band from Finland, been around since 2007. This is a 2012 release. I got to see them 2017 at, what was it, Netherlands Death Fest 2, and need to see these guys again because they're great live and their music's just dark, heavy, and just atmospheric as well. This is Hooded Menace with their 2012 album Effigies of Evil. Very dark overtones, just yeah, very Euro horror-esque with this cover. I think anyway, it's just dark as hell. Songs on the back, released by Relapse Records. And I think there's the two guys there that played on pretty much every album until the later ones. Because there was only like I'm not gonna say his name, I think it's pronounced Lesse. I probably said that wrong. He did guitar, bass, vocals, and then we got Pika. Pika. I'm not going to try and say these names anymore. I'm just going to butcher him. Did the drums, but obviously live they'll get an guitar player, and then I'll get someone else to do vocals and bass, or someone who can do bass and vocals. And I can't remember his name, but he's now in Sadistic Forest, who I got to see at FilmFest. But yeah, dark, heavy, death doom, just dark overtones, and just atmospheric music. And yeah, still full on in your face, or sort of that sort of thing, but still, still a band that will appeal to more fans of death doom, more fans who are more into death metal and doom metal. But you might get those who are like into death metal and might find something they like about it, and those who are into doom metal I might find something they like about it. But overall, a band that I do recommend, Hooded Menace and Effigies of Evil. Go check it out because I do have Never Cross the Dead and oh God, I'm trying to no, not the last album released, the album before that I do have, and one after Never Cross the Dead. I'm blanking on the names at the moment. I'm gonna probably look them up in a bit. But yeah, definitely check those out. Now, this one was the only death doom metal band on this festival here. They formed in, hang on, let me get my list up again. They formed in, why, 2011 in Durham. And they only got two albums out at the moment. So here is their 2013 album. This is Uncoffined with Ritual, Death, and Funeral Rites. And their 2016 album, Ceremonies of Morbidity. And yes, I do realize I did not do it in alphabetical order, like as I was doing it in terms of when they started. So Gravecore was on way before these guys here. I've not listened to this album, but I've heard this one, and it's got some. It's dark, it's heavy, and a little bit groovy. This is Cat's band, who was in bands back in the day and is currently in another band called Thronehammer, which don't play outside of Europe, but it would be cool if they did. Yeah, these guys were the slower one of the band, so a completely different vibe to Suffering Rites, Rumination, Graveghoul, and the last band I'll be talking about that headlined. Um, but still did a good job, and people were into them. You know, where most bands would be moving around and just going absolutely nuts. These guys were pretty much just dead set where they were, like guitarists and the basses just found their spot and just picked their spot, and that's where they were. But overall, great set. It was a good set. It was a good set to me. And this is a good little album right here. I've not heard this one, but I've probably heard one song from it. I'm not too sure. Both released by Mental Mori Records. And I think there's a picture of Cat and the rest of the band in here. There they are. You can see where Cat is, right down there. And you can tell by looking at the covers what the lyrical themes are. Pretty much to do with like the occult, black magic, and all that. But definitely dark overtones right here with the band because Death Doom tends to be dark and heavy and have that dark atmosphere to it. If this is more your thing, this will be more up your street, like with Hooded Menace. So once again, this is Uncoffined with Ritual Death and Funeral Rites on 2013 and Ceremonies of Mobility from 2016. Yeah, really enjoyed their set. I enjoyed their set. Now I'm gonna go back to one of the CDs that I got from Black City Records before ending on the band that headlined Dead of Winter. But before I do that, I forgot to show this when I showed Gravecool. And this is the new t-shirt from Gravecool, which has the burial ground artwork on the front. Stuff on the back, it's just on the back. I thought I'll get this as well as the CD. So I got the last album, that last t-shirt, which I wore at the fest. Put that over there, time being. So for show that, I got another t-shirt to show in a minute. Excuse me. Now this is the last one from of CDs that I bought from Black City Records, a band from, let me get down the bottom, Quebec, Canada, formed in 1982. I got to see them live once, and I've seen them play songs from this album, as I remember from when I saw them at Temples Fest, and I've seen them again since. I'm talking about Voivod, and this is their 1987 album, Killing Technology. Of course, a re-release because it's got all sorts. It's got the album, them live in Montreal, DVD with like of them playing Belgium, US, Switzerland, Germany, France, Canada, and so on. Of course, got well, I think the city's going to fall. I won't open that bit, but it is the band here. Of course, we've got Blackie on bass there. Got all the other guys, Snake and Piggy on guitar. Of course, passed away 2005. 20 years he's been gone. Crazy. As three CDs because obviously you got the album, live stuff, and other stuff as well. That's pretty cool. And Morgoth started Morgoth Science Hospital right there. Also, when I see the name Morgoth, I think the band from Germany, obviously. Excuse me. Here's the booklet, which I'm pretty sure, yes, it does. Look at that. And of course, got the guys again. Stuff down. I think there's over. It's just. I think it's just them talking about the albums. There's no lyrics in there. But you got some pictures there, band pictures and live pictures. One of the pictures that you saw earlier. So we've got Always. We've got Blackie, we've got Snake, we've got Piggy. We got them all right there. Legends within the Canadian metal scene. And yeah, the thrash metal, but they always made it a bit weird. Not weird, like more like I don't know how to describe it. Obviously, it was more technical and it's a bit more. I mean, like guitar structures are a lot different from what you would hear from thrash metal bands, like the usual thrash metal bands. There's Blackie there on bass there. And I think another band I can say that did doing very much something similar to what these guys were doing is Cryptic Shift, definitely. You've got more band pictures there and stuff there. And got some stuff right here. So we've got a little demo there and pictures there. And oh no, wait, lyrics are right at the back. Got off it with no lyrics. There we go, lyrics. Okay, go get this back in its little pouch here. But yeah, Kelly, yeah, Voivod. Seen him live a couple of times. Haven't seen him many more times than that. Saw him for a bit of Bloodstock. Was going off to see Craniation, I think it was. Yeah, what 2030? Yeah. But then I saw these guys in Bristol twice. Once at Temples Fest, and then the other time was with Carcass, Obituary, Napalm Death, Motion. But yeah, I'll definitely see these guys live again. You love thrash metal with a bit more of a technical edge? These guys are for you. And that is Voivod, Killing Technology. Okay, now the last band. The headliner of Dead of Winter Fest. Obviously, it's supposed to be Friday, but the storm. So they never ended up playing that day, but they ended up playing the Saturday, and Ryan was on stage with them. Just move that. On stage with them. These guys here formed in 2000. Now, for me, obviously, back in 2000, I was still at primary school. And when these guys formed, but looking them up, they didn't release anything until 2019. And I have here their debut album, which was released on Extreme Records, which is owned by Dave Rotten from Evolved, as well as other bands. And not only do I have this on have their debut on CD, but I have a T-shirt and a patch. And of course, I'm talking about Tenebro. And I'm not even going to try and pronounce this name, but this album right here, just I mean, I've heard stuff from here that and all the other releases. It's just stupidly heavy. But man, yeah, Tenebro live. I was like, when I saw him appear on the lineup for this, well, I've been pointing at this for most of the video because you're probably thinking, what are you doing? We know what you're on about. But anyway, so I've got the CD here which says Fulci Lives. And on the back of the t-shirt it says D'Amato Lives. So if you're not too familiar with them, if you're not an Italian horror fan, you're not going to know the names, but do check out their films. Just watch the Graveghoul page, and it'll tell you um, Graveghoul wants you to watch whichever film they recommend. And now, obviously, that's a picture I took of Ryan before Graveghoul played. But yeah, here we go. We've got Italian horror glorifying death metal, inspired and influenced by Italian occult. Let me do that again. Inspired and influenced by Italian horror cult movies from the 70s and 80s. And you can tell by the cover where all of their influences come from. And it makes total sense. That, an Italian death metal band singing about Italian horror films, and that is basically all their lyrical themes. And as you can see down there, thanks to Mario and Lamberto Bava, Lucio Fulci, Umberto Lindsay, Andrea. I'm going to put some of these: Dario Argento, Joe D'Amato, Michelle Salavi, uh, Rogero Diodato, so on. There's so many different Italian directors. Most of the names I've just mentioned, I own some of their films. Right, of course, released by Dismal Fate Records. Right, well, it says recorded, mixed February, December of 2021. at Dismal Fate Records, Crypt by, and so logo by Hannes, who's the vocalist. Nice guy. All of them are nice guys. Really just chat to Hannes a little bit more. And in here, we got some lyrics, of course, their logo. Not only did I get the CD, they had their other CDs, but I thought I'd just get this one to start with, go with their debut. But I will pick up their other releases when I get the chance. We have the T-shirt. Yeah, do that so you can actually see it. And then D'Amato Lives. And yeah, it's got a nice, fresh, new T-shirt smell. Just put that over it as well. And a patch, which has one of the many artworks used for House by the Cemetery, which is definitely going on my jacket, which is just over there. Might have to rearrange a few patches, either at the front or the back, but it is going on there. So yeah, definitely a patch I needed. And I thought I'd go with the yellow one, of course, Italian horror films, Giallos. Yeah, Giallo. Yellow. But these guys live and on record just stupidly fucking heavy. And their set was just mad. Got stage divers, people stage diving, circle pit, everything. And it's, man, I was just like, a lot of us, like Sean mentioned in his metal tag, and even saying, like, well, what bands are you anticipating to see it? Are you looking forward to seeing live? I'm hoping to see live. And Tenebro obviously was a band I was hoping to see live one day once I got into them. So I told Hannes, who's the vocalist, when I've done a workout at the gym, I would put that music on. When I do a workout at the gym, put that music on because it's just perfect music to just pump some iron to. For me, it'll be tire flipping next time I'm there. But you love horror films, like I mentioned with Gravecool. You love horror films and death metal, definitely Gravecool. But if you love horror, but if you love death metal and Italian horror specifically, look no further than Tenebro. And I don't want to try and pronounce that name because I'm just gonna butcher it. And we should have looked up what it actually means in English, but it's just cool to see it in their native language, So once again, Tenebro, just stupidly heavy, nasty, disgusting, horror themed death metal. And that is the end of my collection update slash little review of Dead of Winter Fest. It probably went on a bit longer than normal. Sorry again for not doing a video. I was going to do one when I got back from Dead of Winter Fest, but I had other things going on which just drained me, and I'm, been trying to just relax and just, try and, get enough sleep so I could do this video, because I was hoping either to do it yesterday or today, Sunday. And then, well, by the time this goes out, it might be out by Monday, but hopefully let's get out by Sunday. So I'm going to stop prattling on. Keep an eye out for Dead of Winter Fest. Hopefully, hopefully we'll announce something soon. Dates for the next one, and once it's up and about, I highly recommend you get up to Glasgow, watch some death metal, and just have a great time. And of course, all the bands will be in the description below, so you guys can check them out for yourselves, as well as the videos on Dead of Winterfest by Rockin' Metal Plus and Sean the Beast and Mark G with a C. So thank you very much for tuning in. As always, don't forget to like, share, comment down below, and subscribe if you do enjoy my content. We'll be back with more My Metal Vault episodes, collection updates. Obviously, when I get more stuff, more updates. Keep saying I'm going to do my favorite death metal albums. Hopefully, I will soon. And then do like favorite thrash metal, black metal, and so on and so forth. You know the drill. So, thank you very much for tuning in. I've been Jake's Metal Chat. Thank you for all the support. and I will see you all again in the next one. Take care of yourselves.